3, 2, 1.
And now, you're tuned into the Navarro-Miller Report, featuring the hottest in news, entertainment, sports, and all those topics for the mainstream audience. The Navarro-Miller Report.
Examine your reality.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Navarro-Miller Report. I'm your host, Dave Navarro.
I'm Jeremy Miller.
And I'm
with us, well, no problem. With us, we have our special guest co-host, McKenna Camille, rising star right here, who's a little overzealous there. I mean, she's excited, aren't you? You're excited. No, I'm just playing with you.
Mean to be.
No, I love the energy. I love it. She's ready to get going.
Right? She's ready to just dive in there, be like, let me at him, coach. Let me at him. I got it. Let me give me the ball. But thank you so much for being with us here, McKenna. I mean, how you doing? I know that you're talking to us live from New York, right?
Yes, my New York apartment.
And you're loving every minute of it?
Yeah. Yes.
It took her a minute to answer that question.
Totally.
Hold on.
Can I
Let
ask-
me think about it for 2 seconds.
Are you from New York, or are you a transplant? Are you there for working and,
No, I'm just here because I go to NYU.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
Oregon. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, what are you saying? I'm sorry. Oregon is a great place, man.
It's green. What can I say? It's
I
green.
love Oregon.
You're from LA.
Yeah.
Thank you. Exactly.
Yeah. And
I love Oregon. Oregon's. I don't know what he's talking about. Oregon's one of my favorite places in the world to go visit.
I'm kidding. God, I feel attacked today. Jeez.
And you're going to be. We're not done yet.
Right. Nice. It's very, very sweet of you.
Yeah,
Anyways, we got a great show for all of you today. But as it is customary on the Navarro-Miller Report, we started doing some TikTok videos to get our, both our reaction and everybody's watching's reaction to this. Now, Jeremy, this is something that I wonder if this type of Jedi mind trick can work on couples that are having arguments or something like that. It's a very interesting mind trick. Check it out.
Better come fold these damn clothes. Ever since the pandemic, you swear you don't have to do nothing around this house, but you're wrong. You're completely wrong. I'm tired of doing What the fuck is that? Who the fuck do you think you're?
Now, I mean, I don't know if anybody got that. McKenna's having a moment here. I mean, it was a duet from this woman that has like a farm, and that ostrich or whatever always comes after her. She calls that ostrich Karen. Karen is so mean to her. When she turns around, Karen just goes running, and all she has to do is put her hand out. So now guys are trying to do the same thing to their spouses when they start arguing. Don't know if that would work. Now be careful in your words, Jeremy, because your fiance is actually just logged on right now.
I don't have to be careful in my words. You know what would happen to me if I tried something like that. I'd be ducking lefts and rights. So
it's a Jedi mind trick, though. It's like, stop.
Apparently the Force is not strong with that one.
No, not at all. I mean, McKenna, if a guy that you're dating or a boyfriend or whoever would do that to you, what would be the next step? Oh, she's thinking. That's not good. When she's thinking, she's already plotting the evilness.
I would say a really good punch in the face.
Solid.
Maybe I'd put on like a combat boot and just do a nice kick in the shins.
Ow.
That's a good one. That's a classic.
Yeah, right? Yep. See?
Owie. Yeah. That would freaking combat.
Yeah. Guys, behave yourselves.
Yeah.
You don't want to piss McKenna off. I wouldn't want to piss her off, actually. But in essence, there's also actually pranks that couples love to go ahead and do with one another. This one right here, it was kind of funny when I saw it, but at the same time, a little cruel. Check it out.
My wife fell asleep.
she's asking, "Where's my phone?"
Oh my goodness.
That's actually a good prank to put on anybody, to be honest.
That's a brilliant prank either way.
Listen, the only thing I can think of is her hair getting caught in the tape.
Oh yeah, that would have been messed up.
That's a good point. That's a very good point.
I would. Oh no. Oh my god, like made me cringe. I was like, that would just be so painful. Oh, yeah.
See, there's the woman's perspective on that. I hadn't thought of that at all.
Okay, but like you don't have hair like all.
I did at one point. Down past the middle of my back in my younger headbanger days.
So have you ever gotten?
So I do get that, but it's been a long time. So.
Tape in your hair, like I've had thick tape, and it's over. There's like a moment where you just look at it and you're like, "This is my life."
This is my life. This is where it is right here.
Yeah.
Oh my god. No, but that's just it's almost like I remember that one prank that this guy kept on doing at a local beach in Venice, where these big bodybuilders would be like washing their hair because they have like showers and stuff in Venice Beach, God, so and the guy just kept on squeezing like shampoo on his head, and the guy's like, "What the hell's going on? This thing's not coming off!" Like. That's just a beautiful prank to do to somebody. And then when they found out, he went running for the hills real fast.
I like that prank more than some of the others that you see a lot of these boyfriends posting. You know, I mean, scaring the living bejesus out of her at different times or smacking her with a pillow as she comes around a corner. I'm just like, are you guys trying to end the relationship or die?
Kidding.
Which is
No kidding. No, you're definitely right about that. But in talking about relationships and everything else, a TikToker, very popular TikToker, his name is Charlie Classic. He actually had a very valid gripe with people that base their entire lives off of astrology. And if many of you don't know what astrology is, that's, you know, signs like Aries, Cancer, Gemini, etc. And they base a lot of their lives off of that. They have a tendency of their entire lives revolve around that practically. So he had a rant to talk about when it comes to that.
All right, I can't hold it in anymore. I can't not say nothing. It's driving me insane. We have to talk about a group of people who are the biggest racist on this planet. Well, they say they're all about peace and happiness and love, but what they're really about is judging you on the date that your parents banged. Yeah, you heard me right. There's an entire group of people that judge you based on what date you crawled out of your mama's poontang prison. Here in these parts, we call them space racists. They have books that tell them who everybody is as a person before they even meet them. Think judgmental Christians on shrooms. I legit know girls who will not talk to people if they're Scorpios. I had a girl cancel a shoot because the moon was in retrograde and it made her cat act funny. I had a girl on a date tell me, if only you were a Leo, you'd be so hot. They have to be stopped. We cannot let the Cosmic Crystal Clan keep up this audacity.
There's gonna be a girl who says I'm saying this because I'm a Pisces. I swear to God, I know it.
Now, Charlie's got this tendency of going on these rants, and my God, they're brilliant rants. McKenna, I mean, I know that. What do you think?
I'm not an astrology person, but I do have something that I really want right now, and my friend said she was gonna go do something with her crystal, so I'm like, yes, astrology, crystals, manifestation. So ask me like in a week, and I'd be like, what is it even? But right now, I'm 100% all for it.
Here's hoping that video didn't deter you at all.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. That was too good.
Dude, I mean, just what do you, like, we have Joni, like, cracking up Shane, Poontang prison, really?
Are you kidding? First of all, yeah, that was out there. That was great. But, I mean, picture judgmental Christians on shrooms has got to be my favorite line ever. because it's my faith, but I am the first person to criticize, how judgmental as a whole, Christians tend to be. So that's just hysterical to me to compare it in that way. And man, that was one of the funniest quick rants I've seen in a bit.
Oh no, it was bad. It was so bad, but I mean, I love them. Like I said, I love doing these TikTok videos because the reaction from everybody else is freaking hilarious. When I watch it, I start cracking up. I'm like, oh my God, he did not just say that. Anyways, going from that to our top story, and this story just broke about a couple of hours ago. Britney Spears is officially a free woman. She is no longer under any conservatorship whatsoever. She is now free to be able to get married, buy a house, vote probably, I don't know. But she's able to do a lot of things on her own now without anybody telling her what to do. Jeremy, I know that this is something that you've been talking about a lot these past few weeks. I mean, your thoughts on her finally being free?
It is about damn time. This has been one of the most ridiculous sagas up to this point. I understand the reasoning for conservatorship. Okay, there are very valid reasons at times when people are severely struggling with mental health issues. As we've gone over, I'm not going to beat the dead horse. Having the people who had the most to gain from controlling her life be in control of her life was a huge, huge problem. That's a huge conflict of interest, and for it to finally be done and for her to be able to live again is amazing. I mean, every child star should be celebrating for this right now. Every entertainer who came out of this business should be celebrating this right now. This is a big deal.
And I mean, McKenna, not only are you a rising star in the music industry, but you're also an advocate for mental wellness. So this is definitely something that you have an opinion on, I'm sure.
I mean, I feel like my opinions can be summed up in a very quick, thank God, because I'm a 2000s baby, so Britney Spears was my entire, elementary school. I love Britney Spears. Actually, I literally have a red catsuit hanging up in my closet. Yeah, because I love Britney Spears. So I'm overly thrilled, but also at the same time, I'm seriously, it's been a long time.
Yeah,
it's been a little too long.
Yep,
no doubt. And right now, it seems that it's not actually. This is just the beginning of more possible issues that both her father and people that were handling her estate may be facing, Jamie Fears is one, and her business manager Lou Taylor is another one that may be actually facing investigation if Britney chooses to move forward on possibly finding out what's been going on with her money, where's her money going. I mean, basically the lawyer for Britney, Matthew Rosengart, is saying that quote, this is from TMZ. It says, quote, "This doesn't end the dispute over the way the conservatorship was handled, because Rosengart has made it clear he wants a full accounting from everyone involved in the conservatorship, especially Jamie Spears and business manager Lou Taylor, to show how much money they have moved from the conservatorship to their accounts. Now, all that said, Rosengart said, ultimately, it's up to Britney on whether she wants to pursue Jamie and Lou Taylor." So if Britney decides to move forward on this could get very messy very quickly for everybody that apparently handled her money. I mean, this is gonna get really hectic, Jeremy.
It absolutely could. And my word of caution, dear Lord, if anybody, relayed this to her, because I'm, hopefully, she sees it or something, is just to be cautious with that stuff. If it serves your mental health to know what happened and to try and go down that road, because that'll give you closure, that's one thing. But chasing down those demons now that you're getting better can be very detrimental to one's, mental health, that creating even more drama and more issues that can be very touchy. So I would caution her to just stay very self-aware of how she's doing, and if it serves a purpose and it's going to help her, then absolutely, chase this down and pursue it. But if she doesn't need to, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychiatrist, but her mental health will probably benefit from not going down this road that's going to cause a circus. It's possible. And McKenna, I mean, again, you're an advocate for, mental wellness and everything. And also you're in school. You told me before the show started that your minor is having to do with what the industry's about. I mean, what are your thoughts on other people handling money for Britney?
Listen, I don't like it. I'm a control freak. So maybe that's why just thinking about it gives me like anxiety. Cause like, I know like the reason I'm minoring in what I'm minoring in was just like business and the entertainment industry is cause I want to know what's going on. Like I want to be able to talk like, you know what I mean? I want to be able to read the contract and like understand it. It's like, no one's doing my stuff for me. I'm doing it for myself. Or if, there is someone doing it for me, I'm like knowing what's going on. So that's why like something like this is like so anxiety inducing for me, because I'm like, this is exactly like what I'm not wanting to happen to me, which is exactly why I'm studying what I am.
And that's something that I would have to say that many artists, many rising stars should also consider doing the same thing, because Jeremy, you've been in the industry for years, and but you started at a very young age. You went through this type of stuff.
I did, but it was different in that I was a kid. I got my first contracts, when I was 5 years old and 8 years old. And I didn't really start paying attention to the business side of things until I was, 14 or so, when I started actually asking questions about, what's going on with the contract, where the money's going, that kind of stuff. Otherwise, it was handled by my parents. And my mom was very naive, and we were taken advantage of by my stepdick, and we were taken advantage of by my ex-accountant who embezzled money and didn't file my taxes for the state for like 7 years and almost got us thrown in jail. And I had to pay the state a huge, basically most of what I'd made on the show that was in my trust account. So, kudos to you, truthfully, because it's the smartest thing any entertainer can do is be business savvy and learn that side of it. Ask questions always, and don't trust anybody when it comes to the money and the contracts. That's the truth. Unfortunately, we've seen it. I trust my parents. I trust my mom. I trust my family. But again, they weren't business savvy, so their trust was put in the wrong person.
Here's a question for you, Jeremy. Would you trust me with your money?
With my money? No. I don't trust you with like my lunch when I walk away from the table, much less money.
That hurts, and I feel totally attacked by both of you. Okay, by both of you. Both.
You asked.
I asked Jeremy, not you, McKenna. Okay, I asked Jeremy, not you. Okay, I'm walking away from it.
I'm on the show.
She's the co-host for today. She gets to chime in whenever she wants there, buddy.
True, everybody abuses me. I feel like the victim. I am the victim.
You like it, you know it.
Maybe. Well, so far it seems that, like I said, Britney, she's now a free woman. She gets to decide, make her decision. She even gets to decide to have a child if she wants to. That's how much they had control over this woman. It's not fair. She's an adult. Granted, she had a mental breakdown. And she has mental issues, but to have somebody tell you, you have to talk to me first before you have a child. Like, come on.
Bugs in her room. I
heard about that too.
I mean, this was a ridiculous level of control. It's almost sociopathic, and it was doing her more harm than good from the start. I mean, that's just, you could see it, and everything we've heard confirms that. So again, I would say she's still performing. She still has the drive. She's still a musician. She's going to make plenty of money in her career. I would beg her not to chase this down. I really would. She's talked about very vehemently how she just wants to get out of this and kind of have a life again. Please, Brittany, let it go, girl. Just let it go. Honestly, move on. Do your thing. But unless there's something in your mental health that you can't like you said, McKenna, maybe it's an anxiety issue that it brings up, not knowing for her, whatever it is. If that's the case, I understand. But if not, it's just a getting back at people type thing, or it's a money thing. And either of those don't matter, because you got plenty, you're going to make more. And I mean, you're just an amazing human being. I mean, she is. From what I've seen, she is getting it back together. I have a lot of respect.
She's already in the
girl
studio. She's already in the
mean.
studio working on music now.
That's what I mean. So, dear Lord, please just let it go and move forward with your life. It would be so much better in the long run, I would guess, for your, in my humble opinion, for your mental health.
And she's also she's, like I said, she's in the studio right now recording new music that she's very excited about, according to her attorney. But there still hasn't been any word if she's going to actually do any live performances at this time. So maybe she might eventually. I mean, she has a lot of stuff on her plate now that she's free. I mean, she has a wedding to plan. Absolutely. She has music she's working on. So maybe performing live is probably in the back of her head. Who knows? We'll just have to wait and see and find out what happens next. In other entertainment news, Adele's new album has dropped, and she is actually saying that this album is, in a sense, it's actually something for the pandemic, according to her right now. And she's basically saying that this is coming from the Hollywood Reporter, saying, quote, "But with the decision to release 30 in the midst of an ongoing pandemic came the awareness that this troubled era would hang over her new music. The singer suggests that the album and its singles may end up, for some listeners, being defined by the global experience." She says, quote, "No one wants to remember this period of time. Obviously, it's way better than last year, but the day my album comes out, someone's loved one will have died from COVID. For them, it's going to be a reminder every time they hear Easy on Me on the radio." That's for this right now. That's actually very deep to be posting, to use their platform for awareness. I actually commend Adele for that.
Well, I think, I mean, it's awesome, but she didn't create the album for that. Sounds like it sounds more that she's acknowledging the fact that because of the time period that it's being released, people will have a natural association with the different, more tragic things they've been going through during this. I mean, I can say there's definitely a set of music from 9/11 that I can't hear today without associating with those feelings and those things that happened back then. And so I can definitely understand what she's saying.
And McKenna, I mean, again, you're a musical artist. Have you been, like, during this pandemic, I'm sure that you've been working on music. Have you been working on any music with the pandemic in mind?
Honestly, no. Just because I haven't felt like that's something that's gonna work, or at least work for me right now, because I don't find a lot of inspiration from it. Not in like, oh, like it's just nothing. It's just like, it's just not like the time to do it. You know what I mean? I feel like it's more like something that'll, if I do write something about it, it'll be like in
organic
from now, and it won't be right now. You know, a lot of the things that I'm coming out with right now are from, about stuff that happened 2 years ago or a year ago or 5 years ago or whatever. So I haven't really done anything about the pandemic, and I don't see it anytime soon, but maybe. It's always possible. You never know.
I mean, something
You
could
never
actually
know where
inspire
inspiration comes from. So
Yeah. Like I have no clue. Maybe.
Musical artists always have inspiration in the weirdest places sometimes too. So I mean, you could go ahead and look at a tin can on the floor and be like, I could write a song about that. Yeah, tin can.
Yep.
Well, I mean, Adele, she's got this new album. A lot of people are looking forward to it right now, and we'll go ahead and keep an eye on that. So far, I mean, this pandemic has really done a lot of different, like, has made people react in different manners, and now with vaccines, it's made people act even weirder, according to what, Jeremy, you're telling me right now, that you have anti-vaxxers turning to TikTok for what exactly?
Well, as we know, all good medical advice comes from TikTok, so that's apparently where they're going to now. So it's the anti-vaxxers who've given in to the mandates are turning to TikTok to find out how to detox their bodies of the vaccine. So they are bathing in a combination of... Now, let me say, first of all, if they want to believe this works, let them. The more of them get vaccinated and then go want to take a bath afterwards and think they don't have it anymore, awesome. Go get the vaccine and take your bath. No, you're right. It'll go away. But basically, they're soaking in Epsom salts and like organic clay and a mixture of borax and other stuff, and they're claiming that this will eradicate the vaccine from your body. So as I said, I can dispute that from a doctor's, what the said very quickly, but in case any of them are watching, I don't want to. Yes, your saline salt and borax bath is going to get rid of your vaccine, so don't worry about it. Go get it, and then you just take your bath afterwards and everything will be fine.
I thought but I could have sworn they were taking advice from Joe Rogan.
Well, Joe gets it from TikTok sometimes. I mean, that's where the invectormycin or whatever came from. It was a dude in Venezuela who started that BS on Instagram or TikTok or something, and then they picked it up, and now people are eating horse paste. So, as I've said, I know when I have something seriously medically wrong with me, I go to Joe Rogan, because, who else would you want to get your medical advice from? A half roided out guy who swears by the carnivore diet and, eats raw liver and believes in all sorts of weird, conspiracy theories. And this is a guy that I would trust with just anything. Why not?
Stop. It's Joe Rogan. Come on.
I loved Joe. Joe has started to lose it. Joe has gone off the deep end, okay? I loved Joe for a long time. I loved his podcast.
It's all the stuff that he's been taking that's making him
something, man. He's gone. He's lost it. He's definitely lost it.
He's literally drinking the Kool-Aid. And I don't know what's in the Kool-Aid. But McKenna, I got to ask you, you come from the TikTok generation. Are you
No.
Are you following? Hey, it's not my fault. It's Generation Z. Come on.
No.
Don't let me in.
No. No.
What? They're all turning to TikTok right now.
I did not grow up with phones.
Morons.
And, everyone always assumes that I grew up with a cell phone and but I literally did not. I went to a school that they were no. And my parents, I did not get a phone until I was going into high school. This was not I don't know how to type.
Well, then you were thankfully saved from a lot of
what. Thrilled. Okay, I'm so thrilled. I'm obsessed with CDs and records and stuff. So I'm great. But don't you dare put me with the TikTok people.
I'm not. I'm just saying your generation is a part of the TikTok generation. I didn't say you personally.
At least I'm not a UCLA fan.
You just keep on rubbing that more and more, don't you?
Fan either, but yeah. TikTok.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, your taste in CDs and stuff like that is awesome. I mean, your taste in sports teams, that's to be discussed later.
No.
But we'll discuss that one later. But moving on in, speaking of sports and everything, we're actually talking about we're going to turn into Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who says he pees in water bottles during workouts. Now, what he's basically saying, it's not that he drinks it or anything. He basically is saying that whenever he's working out at different gyms, he can't find a gym that has a bathroom in it. So he takes old water bottles and that are not used, and he just pees in it. And the thing is that he drinks a lot of water. He stays really hydrated, so he's got a good amount of water bottles that he uses to pee in. Here's my thing. You are one of Hollywood's top stars. I don't know if this is something that, because as a former WWE wrestler, I mean, you were on the road all the time. You had to use gyms in different places. Is this Dwayne becoming now too Hollywood that he can't use a bathroom? Like, I mean, I don't believe that the gyms that he goes to don't have bathrooms. Every gym I've gone to has a bathroom in it.
Yeah, I was going to say, he can go to my gym.
I don't get it.
Let me say, a guy like The Rock does not go to your normal 24-hour fitness or whatever else. Guys like that go to these beast garage, hardcore iron style gyms that usually, at best, have one bathroom that's shared and is usually disgusting as
That's
can
what
be.
he said too. He said it smells horrible.
So in those type of gyms, I understand why he might choose to do so, because it can get a little bad. I mean, my CrossFit box, thank God, was never like that. But again, those type of places, they don't have, shower facilities. They don't have multiple restrooms. Most of them are built out of old garages or warehouses, and you're lucky to have one bathroom.
True. But still, I mean...
Hey, come on. Now, just from a guy perspective here, I'm sorry. What guy hasn't been on a long car ride and had the big gulp or
That's
the
a
empty
car
big gulp
ride.
or the...
That's a car ride, not the gym.
Dude, do you think he's standing in front of everybody doing it? Of course he found somewhere outside or in a corner. He covered himself up.
I know
so who
that.
cares?
I know that. I mean, obviously he's not going to go ahead and do that. But what I'm saying is that, come on, just use the bathroom. I mean, hold your breath, get in there and suck it up. You're a freaking 6 foot plus guy.
No, here's the thing that you're not thinking about, okay? Here's the thing. I don't think it's fair to say that he's too Hollywood, because I know a lot of people that are from LA and from like New York and places that are not like outdoorsy like Oregon, and they cannot believe that like people go to the bathroom not in a bathroom. Like, I feel like that is worse than peeing in a water bottle, because like, just think about it. Like, that's not LA at all. An LA person would walk out of the gym and go find some like overpriced coffee place
Not true.
and go to a bathroom.
Not true.
Yes.
Not true.
she's
Not
dead
true.
on.
No, it's not. I have never done that. I've never done that. If I need to use the bathroom, the only reason why I don't just freaking, pull over and just do it anyways, because if a cop sees you, you get arrested for indecent exposure. And the worst part about it is, not only do you get arrested for that, but you are then put on the Megan's Law website. And even because that happened to somebody. That happened to somebody I know.
Let me go.
Come to
Sorry,
New York.
Ah.
Oh yeah, no, tell me about it. I know.
Yeah.
Let me take it back to what you said, though. You pointed out one of the reasons why Dwayne might not feel comfortable. You just said he's a 6'4", 260-pound guy. You know how small those bathrooms are? If they're filthy, he's getting in. I mean, he's surrounded by filth and nasty, and he's huge. Those things are tiny. I don't fit in some of them. I mean,
True. I'll give you that. Yeah. You got a point
so
there.
Again, there are reasons, believe me, beyond him just being an elitist. I don't see that at all.
I suppose yeah, it could be possible that could be the reason. I mean, he is a big dude, so I mean, I'm not gonna go too badly on him, because if he were to see me, he would destroy me. Just his eyelash, he would throw his eyelash at me, and I go flying across
He's
the room.
Nicest guy in the world, from what I have heard.
No, I heard that
real
too.
Life.
I heard he's a really nice guy. So from that, we go into our sports segment, and with our sports segment that is going to be brought to you in part by Balance 7. Acid is the number one cause of infectious disease. When your body accumulates acid, it's like adding gasoline to a fire. It increases the risk of disease dramatically. Balance 7 has pH balance 7 plus, the only concentrate alkaline on the market. Go to www.balance7.com, enter code word AL for free shipping and savings. So make sure you check that out for if you're looking to get healthy and have a little alkaline in your system, in my opinion. So go ahead and check that out.
Alkaline water is incredibly good for a lot of different things. It helps with, stomach issues. It helps with skin. It helps with a lot of stuff. So it's a great product.
Absolutely. And in sports, this is something that is going to go. This is something that we've been talking about actually for a little bit now. And the fact of the matter that my boy Aaron Rodgers decided to screw up really badly. As we all know, Aaron was absent one game because he contracted COVID-19, and he lied to the press by saying that he was immunized. Many people are still discussing whether or not that was a lie or just a cop-out. Jeremy has very strong opinions about that. But now that we've gone past that portion of it, we go to the part where he has been fined for breaking protocol. And in our last episode, Jeremy, you actually said that if he does get fined, it's going to be a slap on the wrist. And God, I hate it when you're right. Yeah. It was a little bit over $14,000 fine that was practically nothing compared to what Aaron Rodgers makes.
It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And even if we don't compare it to the amount that Aaron Rodgers makes, the fact is, let's compare it to other fines in the NFL. You have more than 50% of the players in the NFL right now tweeting and up in arms at the NFL and Rodgers, basically saying, excuse me, you got a $14,000 fine. They fined me $45,000 for my shirt untucked. Okay, this man put people's lives at risk. He flaunted protocol. He lied to the league. And they fined him a third of what they're fining people for, not showing up for an interview or having their shirt on wrong. Or are you joking me?
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. I'm not going to lie.
The NFL's got their head up their ass.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, it was definitely something that I can't defend the guy. No matter how much I tried to defend him,
I know you want to, but
I mean, I'm a Packer fan. What can I say?
I'm not criticizing that, but I know it's natural for you to want to defend him. But you haven't even tried with me, which I respect. So
very much so. McKenna, I mean, you've heard about this news. What are your thoughts on the small little teeny tiny fine that my boy Aaron Rodgers got?
Listen.
From this point on, I would love for you to start like a TikTok or a podcast that could be entitled Listen.
If NYU would suspend me, NYU would expel me if this happened. I would not be allowed. Like, I don't even have words. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, right?
It's something that, it's something that people, I had no words either when I first found out about it. I was just like, come on, Aaron, really? I mean, and then for him to say, I never lied. I said I was immunized, but I never lied. And I'm just like, when I saw that, I was like,
he lied.
That ranked right up there with that depends on what the definition of is.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton's famous line under a cross-examination for...
That's what came to mind, too.
I'm sorry, that is right up there with, well, it depends on what the definition of is. What? It's a blatant misleading...
I did not inhale. I smoked, but I did not inhale. It's technicalities. It's cop-outs. I know. I get it. I
Exactly.
personally, like I said, when he said it, and then I tried to defend it, but at the same time, I'm like, I can't. There's no way I can defend this. I mean, he's one of my favorite players, one of the top players in the NFL, an incredible athlete. But the fact of the matter that he tried to get away with it and then only gets a small, teeny tiny slap on the wrist for it, when, like you said, Jeremy, other players have gotten fined hundreds of thousands of dollars just for having their shirts untucked. Give me a break. I mean, that's not fair to the rest of them. But then again, this is the team that gave him the fine, not the league. So the league has to give him a fine, I'm assuming.
Well, we'll find out, but the team is also under threat of penalty and fine from the league because the team helped hide the fact that he wasn't vaccinated from the league. That's been admitted, and the NFL's pissed about that. So they're coming after Green Bay as well. So I don't know how that shakes out.
That's going to be a tough one. That's going to be a real tough one. I mean, so far there hasn't been any other word on that currently. So we'll just have to keep an eye on exactly how much this is going to cost Green Bay, and how much more it's going to cost Aaron Rodgers. We'll just have to wait and see. Now, turning our attention actually to something that, Jeremy, you wanted to talk about earlier involving Will Smith. Obviously, Will Smith has a new book that's coming out, and you actually said that Will Smith is a very compassionate and caring person. I mean, I know that he's a great actor. I've seen some of the stuff that he's done. Obviously, he has a new movie coming out. And that's the movie that you're looking forward to as a former tennis player yourself, Jeremy. So what are what's going on with Will Smith?
Well, first of all, there's going to be a lot of, kind of shock speculation and stuff like that, because this book he's released, it talks very candidly and openly about his open sexual relationship he had with Jada while they were married, and the swinging they did and the different things. And, people are going to, harp on that for a while. So I wanted to throw this out there because not a lot of people are talking about it. With King Richard coming out, which is the story of Venus and Serena Williams and their father and how he helped, shape and protect their careers coming up. Warner Brothers, I believe, is the distributor, has decided on doing the day and date thing. So it's going to be a half and half release where it'll be half in the theaters and half on streaming. Well, I understand, and we've talked about this before, why productions are doing this. They need the money. Not as many people are going to theaters. There's just not the same amount of crowd. But it does cut into the ticket sales that, if that was in your contract, which you can guarantee it was in Will's, that's a percentage he's not going to be seeing. Well, he didn't bitch about himself. He, on the day they announced they were doing that, wrote a letter or an email or contacted every single actor who had points and was going to be affected by this that was on the movie, and told them flat out he was making it right out of his own pocket.
Wow.
It has been confirmed by the other actors and actresses on the movie, and they said it is the most generous thing they've ever seen anybody in the entertainment industry do ever. He's literally covering their losses from those ticket sales out of his own pocket.
That's incredible. That's a big chunk, too, that he's giving.
Yes.
That's absolutely beautiful. I mean, yeah, you're right. Dude, Will Smith definitely, man.
You don't see that kind of thing in this business that often, and people really aren't talking about it. It was reported a couple of days ago. It's just a small news story I caught on the Google feed, I think. But nobody's talking about it online. It hasn't really been discussed, and I wanted to bring it up because he definitely deserves a lot of props for that, for looking out for. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's also for a couple of the production side people who would have had a tie into that as well. He's basically taking care of everybody, and that's I mean, that's an amazingly generous and humane thing to do, to look out for the people below you who are not going to get the same respect and consideration that Warner Brothers gave you.
That's amazing. That's incredible. I mean, having somebody do something like that is just, like you said, Jeremy, you don't see that every day. You don't see that at all.
That's insanely rare.
That's awesome. Let's rewind here, backtracking here for a second, because I'm looking at the feed right now. And the feed's a little bit behind, but we have somebody on there named Carl is actually saying that, going back to Green Bay, saying, quote, saying, I think the team was fined $300,000, and while the fine is a joke, it is what was agreed upon between the NFL and the players' union. I would say the union, and more to do with the fine being so low. So that's
very
Carl.
much a possibility. I would agree with that completely, Carl. Especially because certain penalties have been negotiated again in the collective bargaining agreement. It's an absolutely ridiculous statement to say that a guy who had his shirt untucked was fined 3 times as much as a guy who put people's lives at risk and blatantly lied to the NFL. I mean, it's a joke.
No, I completely agree, and I mean, going back, that was just a comment from Carl. Going back
good
to
point, Carl.
Yep, and going back to Will Smith and what he's done, McKenna. What's your thoughts on the generosity from Will Smith?
I mean, I love it. This is something we talk about in one of my classes. We talk about, like, you know, how the pandemic has really shifted the whole movie industry, and how it's kind of like screwing over a lot of actors because of the profits that are gained at the box office, and how like what are they going to do now? Like, how do you write a contract that has to do with like streaming services? Like, it's so hard because you pay a monthly fee. Like, you're not, like, I guess sometimes like Disney Plus you pay like extra, but it's still like a monthly fee. And you're just like, you can't have the monthly fee go to it's just this horribly like complicated thing, and it just really screws it up. But I mean, also you have to look at like what like the times we're in right now. Like, a lot of people aren't going to go to the movie theater, so it's such a it is such a toss up, and I just feel so. It's just frustrating to think about, because it's like, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What can you do?
No, and I completely agree. But I mean, my thing is, and I said this before, and Jeremy, I got pushback from Jeremy actually when I initially said that having a streaming site that actually plays movies that are in theaters on television at home during a pandemic was a good idea. In my opinion, I think what HBO did was a brilliant idea. The pushback I got from Jeremy was that I remember you telling me, Jeremy, that basically people love going to the movies for the experience of it, the popcorn, just having a good time. So that's something that you believed wasn't, it's not that it wasn't a good idea, but you believe that it wasn't going to fly too well for a long time.
I didn't believe that what it was
long term.
What I didn't believe specifically was this would become all we have. I think that's where we were addressing it, was people were talking about this is going to be the new way we all watch movies. And I was saying, no, people are never going to stop wanting to go to the movies for the movie experience. And as people get more comfortable, you know, being out in the open, you know, being around people, I think numbers will pick up. But I don't think as popular as streaming movies that are in the theaters right now is. I mean, given it's easy, people are generally lazy, and, you know, do you want to sit in your pajamas and cuddle up with your loved one and just watch something, or do you want to get all dolled up and go pay for something in the theater? It's an easy choice for a lot of people in what we're dealing with right now, but I don't think it's ever going to complete. I mean, we still haven't lost all drive-ins. I mean, given they're hard to find, but people still want that nostalgic experience. People still enjoy going to that. I don't think we're ever going to lose, you know, the theater experience, because people enjoy the experience.
I mean, I hope not. I really hope not. And it's coming from someone that hates going to the movies. And I, like, want to go so bad. And it's so funny you bring up drive-ins, because there's a drive-in, like, near my house at home. And it's huge. It is, like, skyrocketed. They normally just run in the summer. and they took like a 2-week break during the pandemic, and they're just like always running now. And I'm like, this is great because I love the drive-in. I would go to the drive-in way before I would go to an actual movie. Please.
I've never been to one. I've always wanted to go. I've always wanted to go.
I've gone. I'm 19.
You gotta get on it, Dave.
You've lived. I haven't lived at all.
It's so fun. It's so fun.
I bet. One of these days, it's just like Jeremy said, it's hard to find drive-ins these days. They're very, especially in Los Angeles, it's very hard to find drive-ins around here. You have to go out into the boondocks to go ahead and find. Not even Oregon. I mean, around here in California, they do have them, but you have to go into the outskirts of the city, like way out in the outskirts of the city to find a drive-in. I mean, I've passed by, like on my way to Vegas, driving. I've seen drive-ins on my way to Vegas, but they're out in the middle of nowhere, like Victorville area. You know, it's very difficult. I've always wanted to go to them. But I've never been able to. So, I mean, one of these days I'll be able to do it. You know, but for now, I mean, I'm okay with being at home watching these movies that are out in theaters because that way I don't have to wait in line. I don't have to deal with. Well, I just don't like dealing with people that are like loud or obnoxious. I mean, I've had issues like that. I mean, you know, going to a movie theater where Jeremy's loud and obnoxious, I have to deal with that like all the time. I'm like, dude, can you just like quiet? I mean, I'm trying to watch a movie.
I'm the one who shuts the theater up. I am not the one who causes the issue. Don't even start that with me.
No, I believe you.
I have dug myself in many a hole, getting very, very upset with people disrupting films, and actually one time had to back down almost an entire movie theater by myself because they turned on me, about 45 people, and I had to get a little crazy and convince them that I would take out enough of them that it wasn't worth their time.
Listen, I'm gonna agree with. No, I have to say, like, it bothers me so much when people take like photos in the middle of watching the movie, and I'm like, what are you? And then they like, post it on social media, and they're like, Star Wars, and I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you did not just see Star Wars; you were on your phone. Like, I know, like, sorry.
Yeah,
that stuff drives me crazy.
I get it, and we got people on the stream. Actually, Derek is saying in regards to the drive-ins, he's saying, and it doesn't get any better than sneaking in a truck of a car, in the trunk of a car.
In the trunk, absolutely. If you haven't snuck into a drive-in in the trunk of a car, you haven't lived. Please don't do it. It's bad. But, you know, as a dumb kid, yes, I did. I'm sorry. I'll admit it. As a dumb kid, we did it. My brother stuck me in the back of his trunk, and we snuck into the drive-thru, so he didn't have to pay the extra ticket. I'll admit it. We did. But that was a coming-of-age thing throughout the drive-in era.
Oh, I'm sure, man. I mean, like I said, it's kind of like sneaking into the movie theater. You know, like it's not the same, obviously, because it's not a drive-in, but it's sneaking into a movie theater. You're still sneaking in one or another, and I did that as a kid. I did that maybe once, maybe twice. I know, right? I'm horrible. I'm a horrible, horrible human being. But anyways, moving on.
For other reasons.
For other reasons, yeah. But in other news, former NBA player's daughter, former Chicago Bull Corey Benjamin, had to issue an apology to the parents and anybody else because his daughter, during a youth basketball game, and I saw the video on this, and you could go on abc7.com to see the video of this, where this young lady is playing basketball and suddenly this other player walks past. She turns to the other player and sucker punches her so hard, knocks her down to the floor, and she's knocked out. And she continues playing. Obviously, you know, other things happened after that. But this young girl that she punched has now a concussion because of it. And Benjamin had to go ahead and issue an apology saying that this is not how I raised my daughter. To the young lady who was punched by my daughter during a youth basketball game, I sincerely apologize to you, and I am praying for your complete healing, both physically and emotionally. To her family, I deeply apologize and regret that this happened to your daughter, as she did not deserve this to happen to her. Finally, I apologize to all of those who have been impacted and hurt by the actions of my daughter, as well as those of her mother. I am here for your family and wish only the best for you. As a father, I'm shocked and disappointed at my daughter's behavior, as this is not a reflection of the values and standards that my family holds, nor does it exemplify the values, character, and spirit of sportsmanship that the game of basketball requires. My daughter made a mistake, one that she will need to make right. I am committed to getting my daughter any help she may need and support her in taking accountability for her conduct. Now, here's my thing. Kids take their idols very seriously, and they want to be like their idols. Now, I don't know if this young lady has been watching a lot of what I'm sure she has about what's going on in basketball and everything, but just recently we had players throw punches. I believe it was in a recent game a couple of days ago involving one of the players, Jovovich, went ahead and slammed. He elbowed this dude onto the ground. And I mean, obviously he did it as retaliation because the other player shoved him a bit, and Jovovich just elbowed him to the ground. Obviously, when the player went down, he did a soccer move where he was like, "Oh my god, it's hurting." He totally sold it. But the point is that these young kids are watching. They're watching these actions and believe, hey, it's okay to go ahead and play this kind of basketball on the court. If the adults are doing it, why not us? And here's taking it to the next level. Shaq actually was okay with this. Shaquille O'Neal was okay with this, according to what he was saying in one of the news reports. It's not okay. This is not fun. This is not good, because you all are examples for these young teens that want to grow up to be professional athletes like you. Now, doing so...
Can I clarify real quick? Can I clarify? Because I need to know. Were you saying that Shaq was okay with the Jovovich situation, or this little girl decking the
Jovovich situation?
Thank you. We need to clarify that, because that's not what it sounded like. I would be very shocked if Shaq was fine with this little girl getting concussed.
No, but I mean, in him being fine though with Jovovich is still not good. It's still not a good example. I mean, it's not right for him to be fine, because then we're like, well, Shaquille O'Neal, MVP and multi-champion is okay with it, then maybe it's okay that we go ahead and do it. Come on, really? I mean, we got Derek saying on the stream saying sounds like her idol might have been Ron Artest. Yeah, I remember that too.
You definitely look like you got something to say on this one.
Yeah.
Listen.
I love it.
I love it.
NBA games. I can't even tell you how long. I can't even tell you. I've been going to basketball games with my dad since forever. And, well, okay, you know what? No, I'm going to start off with, I'm telling you, there is a template that is of like those like addressing the situation letters that celebrities have. There is a template, because everything you read, I knew exactly what you were going to say next. I was like, okay, now he's going to address the problem, and now he's going to get the, and I was just like, come on, like, give me something new. Like, no, but like, it's the same exact wording. It's like, I'm sorry to the person it affected. Now I'm sorry to everyone else that it affected. And I'm like, now I'm going to help and now I'm going to like, and I'm like, come on, get some different wording. Like, we all see right through that. Like, who's writing this? I'm sure there's
publicists.
There's one person that's writing all of these.
Oh yeah.
Names. And it's just like,
publicists.
I've run out of like synonyms for this word, and I'm just gonna like use this one template and just like insert name here is what it's. But other than that, I've been going to basketball games forever, and like, I've seen some kerfuffles, I'll say, and not great ones. And the refs, the feelings that I have with refs is a whole other thing that I'm not even going to get into.
It's probably the same feelings we all have as sports fanatics too.
And maybe I'm a little biased. I don't think I'm biased. The team that I support, the Blazers, like, I feel like, I've never seen anything necessarily like super violent that I've seen in, like other.
Because you're young.
No, I know. I mean, since me going, I know there was like a whole moment. I know there was a whole moment. But like since I've been going, like ever at the games that I've seen, like these, kerfuffles, it's always been the other team, specifically a certain team that I'm not going to name. And I every time I'm like, are you gonna call it? And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I understand completely. I mean, I would call it back. I love what you said about the template, because absolutely that just sounded like every other person's, every time this kind of thing happens. But I would call a little bit of BS on Corey in that maybe this is how he taught, or not what he taught her at home. But go ahead and Google Corey Benjamin fights. The dude was throwing fists constantly. He had an attitude in the league. He got into many, many, many fist fights throughout his career. So you can teach a kid one thing, but when you're showing them something completely different in your career and the way you carry yourself on the court, what do you think's going to make the biggest impact on?
Well, it kind of reminds me of that old drugs commercial where the kid's like, where'd you get this? Or where dad's like, where'd you get this? Who gave it to you? From you, Dad. I learned it from watching you. You know what I mean? That's exactly what this is. It's the same exact thing. And I
remember, specifically, I remember Corey Benjamin was an aggressive defender. He was a guy who didn't back down from other players, and he got into fisticuffs a lot. So, if you want to teach your kids not to throw punches, how about don't?
Yeah,
exactly. Facts on facts. And we got on the streamer, we got Delia saying exactly same wording. Only thing missing was going to rehab.
Yeah.
That's very true. That's actually very true. Well, that's the news. In case you haven't heard it, thank you so much for being here with us. McKenna, I got to ask, how can people stalk you on social media?
You can find me on Instagram.
Hold on. Before you say that, you got to say, listen.
Okay. Listen. You can find me on Instagram, McKenna Lee, or you can find me on my website, McKennaCamille.com, and all my social media is listed there, my YouTube, all of that.
Awesome. And speaking of YouTube, you have your brand new song that just came out, Strawberry Shortcake. What's that song about exactly?
It's about thinking about your perfect summer, and then it's I call it like my one-person duet. It's like thinking about your perfect summer, but then like you're in your perfect summer. So, which is what the music video is about. It's going back and forth between me talking about it and reminiscing and being in it. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, I mean, with that being said, Jeremy, always a displeasure with you as you always.
Awful dealing with you and having to stare at your face as always. McKenna, love it. That was great talking with you. Thank you for helping me beat him up a little bit.
Of course. Anytime.
That hurts, guys.
Give me a call. I'll be right back.
Awesome.
We'll love to have you back on the show again, McKenna. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. Make sure you follow us on YouTube. Go ahead and click that notification button because we are moving to YouTube in less than a week. So make sure all of you that are watching us on Facebook, head over to YouTube, subscribe. We also have a GoFundMe page to go ahead and give us better equipment so we could bring you the best quality this show has to offer. Unfortunately, Jeremy is here, so that's not the best quality, but that's okay.
Bar for you guys. It raises the bar for you. Don't worry about
it. Everybody have a great weekend. We hope to see you again on Monday for another episode of the Navarro-Miller Report at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We leave you now with McKenna Camille's Strawberry Shortcake. We'll see you next time, everyone.
Nights now forever. Sunset sand with our lips locked, making stupid tick-tock. Oh, 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 oh. I wanna see the sun rays and the blue skies, acting like our shoe size. Can't get enough of the feels, can't get enough of the high. I can't get over these summer vibes, yeah. Another moment with you is like another surprise. I can't get over these summer vibes, yeah. I've been craving something new now for so long. Hard days making ways for these perfect nights. A summer kiss on the lips, what could go wrong? 1 a.m. rendezvous by the pale moonlight. I pictured us upon the sand with our lips locked, making stupid tick-tock. Oh, 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 oh. I wanna see the sun rays and the blue skies, acting like our shoe size. Can't get enough of the feels, can't get enough of the high. I can't get over these summer vibes, yeah. Another moment with you is like another surprise. I can't get over these summer vibes, yeah. Summer vibes, yeah. Can't get enough of the feels, can't get enough of the high. I can't get over these summer vibes, yeah. Another moment with you is like another surprise. Can't get over these summer vibes, yeah. Summer vibes, summer vibes,